All right, Jonathan back, representing for the King, Yeshua HaMashiach, the Holy One of Israel. Yeah, before you scroll, stay around so you can hear this. It's deep right here. It's a real life experience that I went through here recently, and the devil was definitely after me. But, all right, so let me read this Bible verse, and then I want to share a dream, and then what happened after that, okay? Because the Lord is good, and He reveals all, or almost all. Okay, so what I want to share is Deuteronomy 18, verse 10 through 14, okay? And it says, pay attention, 2025. Nobody's talking about this because everybody's stuck in the world, all right? All right. It says, there shall not be found among you anyone who makes his son or his daughter pass through the fire, or one who practices witchcraft, or a soothsayer, or one who interprets omens, or a sorcerer. Please forgive me. Or one who conjures spells. So they make them up, right? Like if you go to CVS, they got the little thing where they go around with the made up potions, right? It says, or one who conjures spells, or a medium, or a spiritist, or one calls up the dead. So they summon up spirits. For all who do these things are an abomination to the Lord. And because of these abominations, the Lord your God drives them out from before you. So He drives them out from you, right? You shall be blameless before the Lord your God. For these nations which you will dispossess listen to soothsayers and diviners. But as for you, the Lord your God has not appointed such for you. So, it says, there shall not be found any among you like this. So before I left my grandfather's, I was looking for a place to stay, right? And I was on Facebook Marketplace, and I'd found this person, and she looked really, really, really familiar. Almost like I went to school with her. But I don't know where I remembered her from, but I remember her from growing up, man. But anyway, she had Divine 1111 on one of her pictures, and I wasn't putting nothing together, right? So I go to look at the place, right? I get there, and I walk in, and the first thing I see is all these rocks, like purple crystals, like purple and white, and they're lined up all on the steps. And there was this big picture of this cross-looking thing on the table. And, I'm not thinking anything, right? So I go, she begins to say how her son looks for rocks in the ground out west, this and that. I'm not thinking anything of it, you know what I'm saying? So we go upstairs to one of the rooms, and she starts talking about how the guy before who lived there had all these parties, and she had to kick him out, right? And she said she should have did more research on the dude, right? And I'm like, and she was like, well, don't worry about it. I already done looked you up. And I'm like, all right, that's what's up, and I'm thinking, well, that's good. She's like, I know you ain't been arrested any time recently, this and that. And then the next thing you know, I start telling her about my testimony about Jesus and what He's did for me, how He came over me, held my head, about all the supernatural things that was happening in the house, about dreams that I've had of stuff to come. And she starts to go in how and talking about that's your guardian light, or pretty much people who are looking out for you, this and that. Your guardian, I can't remember what she said, like people who help you along your path or whatever, like angels, I guess, supposedly something like that, right? Well, come to find out, she starts talking about tarot cards. All right, that's an immediate red flag, all right, because the Bible clearly says that you should go to the Lord for everything in prayer. Okay, we don't consult these people right here who do witchcraft, soothsayers, omens, sorcerers, mediums, spiritualists, any of these things. So I asked her jokingly, I'm like, so is that how you look me up, you know, through the tarot cards? You know, she's like, oh, no, that's not how I do it, how I did it or whatever. So after that, yeah, I know I talk fast. You got to bear with me. After that, I was like, you know, can I see that room over there or whatever? And then, so we went over to the next room, and on the wall was a humongous book. And right on the front, it said spell book. Spell book. Man, come on. Oh my God. Y'all don't have no clue, man. I've been on this walk for 3.5, almost 4 years with the Lord. I done went from my mom telling me about how many kids I was going to have and how I get to go off and live this happily ever life, about how she went to a psychic and looking into my future, and I told her the exact same from this about what the word says, that you're not supposed to do that. So I went from that to my brother coming in, sitting at the table, telling me he holds up a picture of this woman a medium right here, the medium, and supposedly she talks to Jesus, but she's a medium, a spiritualist, right? So over and over and over, from the woman from the woman who walked up and asked me, she said, is your chest hurting? Because mine's hurting. What the heck? Why would my chest be hurting because yours is hurting? Is that like a sore throat or something? Like, you know what I mean? Like, over and over and over of these people practicing these dark arts. Okay? Then I end up going to look at this place, and this woman talks about how she grew up Catholic, but yet she's in the dark arts. This is real life. This is what life is like in America. Yeah, so that was a heck of an experience for me. After I seen all that, I pretty much concluded that, heck no, I am not hanging around here. And we got down to the bottom of the steps, and we're standing there. She pulls out, she starts calling the guy her guru. Oh, hold on, let me back up. So we were upstairs, right? And then next thing you know, she starts talking about how her chest was hurting and have ringing and her ears would be ringing sometimes, and she'd had chest pains. And I told her, that's all a sign of these sorcerers and witchcraft. That's all a sign of this stuff is what you're talking about, right? And then, so I don't think she put 2 and 2 together, but she starts talking about her guru was Indian, right? And how she was manifesting stuff. So we get down the steps, and she pulls out this tablet, and she starts scrolling down, and she'll hit play on each one of these playlists of this Hindu guru who would speak in these like devilish tongues. Man, it was the freakiest, craziest thing I ever, man. In the picture, she was a very beautiful girl. You know what I'm saying? Of course, it was probably years ago, but you got to understand that when, like many of my older pictures of when I was living in addictions, when you're filled with darkness, it takes everything from you, even your looks, right? So I felt bad. I really did. But yeah, so that was just a heck of an encounter. But anyway, so I had a dream, right, from the Lord. And I couldn't put two and two together. Like a week or a couple days before I went to look at it, I had a dream about it was a blonde haired lady, right? And about not getting connected with her because she was going to try to steal from me. That could have been finances, spiritually, I mean, sexually. It could have been many different ways how the devil could have used this person to attack me or steal from me or any, you know what I mean? Like any of these ways right here. But the Lord is good and he is faithful and he revealed it and the signs were all there. I am just so thankful that, that I got out of all that, and I didn't fall for it, But let me read it for you again before I go. It says, "Thou shalt not be found among you anyone who makes his son or his daughter pass through the fire, or one who practices witchcraft or a soothsayer." So that's what that Hindu dude was doing. He was sitting there speaking in these like these tongues, but it was like a demonic tongue. It was pure evil, man. Or one who interprets omens or a sorcerer, or one who conjures spells or a medium or a spiritist, or one who calls up the dead. You got to realize, man, like a lot of this stuff goes back deep in a lot of people's families. They practice this stuff. I can remember growing up as a kid, a woman that was in their family who always had a rock on her neck, who always practiced this evil, and she had tarot cards in her room. So this goes back years upon years. And I keep asking, I keep wondering, if Trump is for America, a social media platform should not have the right, okay, to allow evil to be, so that they're allowing the whole world to learn how to do this stuff on their platforms. You tell me something ain't gone there. Like, who in the heck's going to stand up against this? Jesus Christ. Love y'all.